Hi there. We're going to take about 5 minutes to look at custom reports, how to get to them, how to refresh them, and how to export them to Excel. And then we will also be looking at how to filter and sort your data in Excel. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to log into the PD portal. Once I'm logged into the PD portal, I'm going to hover over Reports. When the drop-down menu appears, I'll click on Custom Reports. Now, a majority of the reports that you'll likely be looking at are ones that have been created by someone here at TCall. You can see here in this custom report center that this particular user has reports that have been shared by Glenda, reports that have been shared by myself, Laura, and by Deb. Today what we're going to be focusing on are the transcript reports that I have created for each of the programs. In this case, I want to look at the TCall transcript report. Your transcript report will be titled AEL Grantee Transcript Report and then the name of your program. So Austin Community College, Denton ISD, Region 1 ESC. Those are some examples of how these will be titled. So again, today I'm looking at AEL Grantee Transcript Report for TCall. I can see that it was created by Laura and it was shared to this account. When I look over here under last run, it says never. Now, a report that's been shared with you under last run, it's going to be when you ran it last. Not when the report was run by someone else, but when you ran it last. So in this case, this report has never been run within this account. I'm going to go over here under Actions, click the triangle. It's going to drop down two options. I can copy it if I want to update some of the filters, or I can refresh it. In this case, I'm just going to refresh it, and what that's going to do is it's going to pull the data from the PD portal into the report. You can see right here that it's processing. It will take just a minute to process. This is not a terribly huge report. So it's not going to take that long. If your reports are much larger, especially if you've got a big program, so HGAC, for example, or Workforce Solutions of Tarrant County, those reports will take a little bit longer to process just because those are such large programs. All right, so I see now it's done processing. The date has popped up, and so that's how I know that it's done. It's ready to be exported. So I'm going to go over here again, click the upside down triangle. Now I have a couple more options because the data has been pulled from the portal. I want to export it to Excel. So right here, I'm going to click Excel. And I see down here that it has downloaded the Excel document. In Google Chrome, it pops up down here as a download. I do know that in some other web browsers, for example, Mozilla Firefox, I think that when you download something, it'll pop up here next to the bar where you type in your website. So just be aware that when you export to Excel, it's going to pop up as a download, and so you'll want to look for that download. I'm going to double click it to open it. And you'll notice this is opening in Excel. Alright, so my Excel spreadsheet has opened at this point. I see a lot of data. The very first thing I want to do, right here at the top it says Enable Editing. Click that button and that's going to give you the ability to edit this document. Second thing I want to do is I want to go over here next to this title bar. I see the sideways arrow. I'm going to click it. That highlights this whole row right here. Top right corner. I want to click Filter. This is going to give me the ability to filter and sort my data a little bit more easily. A couple of things I want to point out about how this report produces the information and organizes it for you is right here you'll see a grand summary. So this grand summary, this bold number, 220, that tells me the number of courses that that have been completed by people within my program. Then down here you'll see names. So Paula Bauer, for example, next to her name is a 6. That means that she has completed 6 courses. If I keep going down, Wayne has completed 12. So the data is summarized a little bit for you in that way. Another way to take a look at it, let's look at Paula again. She has completed 6 courses. If I go over here to the far right under Sum PD Hours, the bold number next to Paula's name, 43.5, that's how many hours she has completed. So she has 6 courses for a total of 43.5 hours. If I continue to scroll down, I can take a look. Wayne, for example, with his 12 courses, has 54 hours. So that's a little bit about how the data is presented. If you need to sort your data to find out who has fulfilled certain professional development categories, you can look at it that way as well. So again, if I'm looking at Wayne here, I can see that it's sorted already. He's got 3 assessment classes that he's taken. If you add up the hours, 6, 3, and 3, he's got 12 hours of assessment. He's got 3 literacy instruction courses. Again, if I add up the hours, 6, 6.5, and 1, that is 13.5 hours worth of literacy instruction. I know that the Principles of Adult Learning category is often a big one that people need to fulfill. So for instance, I can look, he's got Principles of Adult Learning, 2 courses for a total of 14 hours. So that's another way you can look at the information. If you want to look, so let's think about it. For instance, I know that one course that everybody has to take is goal-driven learning. So up here where it says training title, I can click the upside down triangle and I can filter. I'm going to deselect all and I'm just going to select the courses that fulfill goal-driven learning. So here we have 2017 Goal-Driven Learning Attunement. If I keep scrolling down, I see goal-driven learning. I'm going to click on that one as well. And I believe those are all the courses that will fulfill that category. Oh, you know what? I'm going to click on PII as well because that's a course that everybody is supposed to take every year. So these are your required courses. If I keep scrolling down. All right, that's all I want to look at right now. So again, I'm going to filter, click OK. And I'm going to filter, and this just shows me now who has taken PII and who has taken goal-driven learning. So I could look through this and I could find out who has not taken these courses. So you can find out which teachers you need to reach out to and kind of prod a little bit to get these courses taken care of. I see right here this little icon tells me that I have a filter in place on that column of information. If I want to take it off, I can click the upside down triangle again, click Clear Filter from Training Title, and it's going to get me started right back at the beginning in the same way that this data presented when I downloaded the document. So there you have it. That's about 7 minutes worth of how to download your data from the custom reports, how to get it into Excel, and a couple of tips on how to sort and filter your data. I just want to remind everyone that especially with the transcript reports, this data is changing every single day. So the data you download today is not going to look the same as the data that you download tomorrow. So every time you need to do a transcript report, make sure you go back into the portal and refresh it. Upside down triangle, refresh. It's going to queue and process. If you have any questions, please reach out to us here at the TCAL Help Desk, PD Portal at tamu.edu.